Celebrating Black History Month can also mean a perfect chance to honor the men and women who have served our country during times of peace and war, all while breaking color barriers. Their achievements are a great source of inspiration for understanding our nation's military service, one story at a time. Joining us is Monica Mahindra for Wreaths Across America. Thanks for joining us this morning, Monica.
Hi, good morning. I'm actually with the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress, but we're so happy to support our friends in sharing information with Wreaths Across America.
Thank you. And so tell us, what is the Veterans History Project?
For over 20 years, we have been meeting our mission at the Library of Congress with people like you and your viewers to collect, preserve, and make accessible or discoverable the firsthand remembrances of U.S. veterans from World War I through the recent conflicts, those who served in those conflicts.
Wow.
And that means working with people to gather those stories and make sure they're available.
All righty. And how many collections are there of individual veteran stories? And do you have a favorite?
Oh, that's such a tough question. There are over 114,000 individual stories of veterans' first person remembrances. And so it's impossible to pick a favorite. They come in at a rate of about 200 to 300 a month through voluntary participation. But for veterans, related to specific history months, like right now we're celebrating Black History or African American History Month, it's hard not to think of particular veterans. So I would point to a couple that we have that are just really extraordinary. One is by the name of a gentleman called Ellis Ross, and he served in the Quartermaster Corps in World War II and talks very eloquently about his experience in Europe during that time being actually more liberating and more freeing for him. He has over 450 original photographs in our collection that you can go to the website, as you see here, and look at and experience for yourself what he saw through his eyes. Another collection that just really speaks quite literally from the veteran is William Howard Washington. And he speaks to his experience first person. You hear him, you see him. And then there's one more that I just really can't stop thinking about these days. It was actually created by a group of students in Ohio in 2003. And Mr. Gray is that collection, Howard Gray. And he talks about how important it was for him to serve, but that in a very honest and genuine way, part of the sacrifice of his service was the idea that he had to use a separate waiting area, a separate water fountain, and how that felt for him, even against the triumphs of his service in World War II.
Wow. And I understand the Quartermaster Corps is one of the most important logistical units, yet remains an under-recognized aspect of U.S. military service. Did women also serve during World War II in the Quartermaster Corps?
They did indeed. In fact, Charity Adams, who is extremely important to American history and African American history, she led the only all female, all African American battalion, the 6th and their service helping to really just remove an intractable mail problem, as in postal mail, was so needed and so important that they received a parade in Paris and were completely feted during that time when they created this just huge triumph against this massive backlog. And then they received the Congressional Gold Medal in 2021, finally getting the full recognition that they deserved.
Wow. And how may the public use the Veterans History Project or VHP collections?
Oh, thanks. What a great question. It's so easy. Just go to the Library of Congress website, or you can go to www.loc.gov/vets. And what you get there is an opportunity, a granular search feature, curated collections, all kinds of ways to get to these collections directly. We also have a blog and Facebook pages, and all of these things together help to pull together themed content, something you might be interested in, for instance, the 6 888 or those who served during World War II, those who served at particular locations or battles, and really dig in for yourself and see.
Yeah,
But there's also wonderful curated content there.
that's amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to also let our viewers know for more information, go to wreathsacrossamerica.org.